Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here with us today. Let me introduce myself. I am Parvati from Amrita Maltepe, and I will be the host for this event today. A warm and hearty welcome to each and every one of you here to the virtual signing and commemoration of the Memorandum of Understanding between Maltepe University, Istanbul, Turkey, and Amrita School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Amrita Maltepe. Let's begin by seeking the blessings of the divine through prayer.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhyayamo Dhavalavagunthalavati Tejomayim Naishtikim Snigdhapangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mantasmita Shri Mukhim Vatsalyamritavarshiniim sumadhuram sankirtanalapiniim Syamangim madhusiktasuktim amritanandatmikam Ishwarim.
I have a small announcement that our Dean, Dr. Bhavani Rao, the Dean of School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, has urgently been called by the Chancellor that he'll be joining shortly. Very soon she'll be joining. Okay. So before we can commence, we would like you to be mindful of a few things during the ceremony. All participants except the speakers are requested to please mute their microphones and switch off their cameras during the session to improve the bandwidth. Please keep your mobiles in silent or vibration mode, and kindly refrain from eating or drinking during the session in front of the camera. And we request you to be patient in case of any minor technical issues that might pop up. Also, please save your questions or thoughts towards the end of the session, when we'll be really happy to take them up towards the end of the session. Let's now move on the event without any further ado. On this occasion of initiating collaboration between Maltepe University and Amrita School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Amrita Maltepe, it's my pleasure to invite you to the esteemed speakers present here. We have here with us today Dr. Hulia Singha, Dean, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Maltepe University, and Director, Women and Family Studies Application and Research Center, Maltepe University. Then we have Dr. Nishay Shahin Tashrin, Head of the Department of Social Work, Maltepe University. We'll be joined soon by Dr. Bhavani Rao R, the Dean of School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Amrita Maltepe, and the Director, Amachi Labs and Center for Women's Empowerment and Gender Equality. And we have Dr. Meltem Alcoa-Akildis, Vice Chairperson, Department of Social Work, Amrita Maltepe. A hearty welcome to all our esteemed speakers, and we welcome all the faculty, students, and team members from Maltepe University and Amrita Maltepe to this event. To get further insights into the activities of Maltepe University, Center for Women and Family Studies, and the UNESCO Chair on Gender Equality and Culture, I would like to invite Dr. Hulia Singha. As mentioned earlier, Dr. Hulia Singha is the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences Faculty at Maltepe University since 2020. She has been serving as the Chairholder, UNESCO Chair on Gender Equality and Culture since 2019. The Director of the Women and Family Studies Application and Research Center from 2019, Dr. Singha is a member of several prestigious committees like the FISP, the International Federation of Philosophical Societies, the board member of Philosophical Institute of Turkey, Institution of Turkey, and Kukuradi Philosophy and Human Rights Foundation. Dr. Singha, whose research interests are in the areas of gender studies, ethics, and contemporary philosophy, has published extensively in many national and international journals, books, and projects regarding the subject of women's human rights. I now invite Dr. Singha to kindly address together.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Greetings to all, and welcome to this commemoration of the Memorandum of Understanding between Amrita and Maltepe Universities. So I'll be presenting the activities of the chair and as well as the center. So please allow me to share my screen. Yes. Can you see it? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Okay, thank you. So I will go over them quite briefly. So this is what we are going to do, the activities. So again, as I said, the Center for Women and Family Studies and the UNESCO Chair on Gender Equality and Culture, they work actually quite in an organic fashion. And both the center and the chair were established in October 2019. And then very soon came the pandemic, unfortunately, but we believe that we have done quite a lot since that, despite the pandemic. And we were very honored by the presence of the then Director for Gender Equality Division, UNESCO, Dr. Gülser Kora, with us on the inauguration of the chair. And indeed, our first activity was the talk by Professor Feride Acar. And she's a political scientist, and she is one of the pioneers of the women's movement in Turkey. And she has served in the committee of CEDAW various terms, as well as she was the first representative for Turkey in Grevio. So she gave a talk entitled From CEDAW to Istanbul Convention, International Norms Against Discrimination and Violence Against Women. And then something else that we did was the translation of the UNESCO report, I Would Blush If I Could, Closing Gender Divides in Digital Skills Through Education. So we proposed to UNESCO to translate that report into Turkish, and it was accepted. We were very happy actually about that. So we translated the report, and this report is actually on the gender gap in the field of digital skills. So the main aim is to expose the gender inequalities in digital technologies, which is the future, it seems, as well as, of course, address digital illiteracy of women, and also offering strategies in closing this digital gap. The report, again, as I said, is finished, and it has been reviewed, and it will be disseminated in about 2-3 months. Something else is a conference, a SWIP Turkey conference. It stands for Society for Women in Philosophy, Turkey branch. So this was the third of the conferences, and due to pandemic, we had to do it, of course, online. So we hosted it at Maltepe University, and this conference brings together junior and senior academics, women academics, who work not only on gender, but also on various branches of philosophy. And this particular conference was, the theme was philosophy, gender, and social justice. And it was watched through, it was broadcasted in YouTube for 2 days, and more than 1,000 people followed that conference. Sorry. I moved too fast, I believe. Yes. And we also decided, since there is also in the name of the center family, so we thought that it would be a nice idea to look at the family in the global age. So, so this is what we did. We got a grant from Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, the association, the branch in Turkey, and we had our first workshop in November 2002. We gathered experts and to discuss what kind of a conference this needs to be and what kind of themes it needs to touch. So after that conference, we had another conference workshop in February 2021, and we again tried to figure out the actual agenda for the conference. And as we go by timeline, there is also a inter-university communication network, we have been gathering together for 10 years, exactly 10 years this year. We meet twice a year in various cities in Turkey when we were to do it face-to-face. And so this was an online version, of course. So we hosted it in December 2020. It was the 17th of those conferences. And the aim actually of these is looking at the sexual harassment and sexual assault in academia. So we exchange ideas, we exchange know-how, and for those universities who don't have such a division yet, such a place to investigate those things, so how we can establish them, so on and so forth. So the particular topic of that conference was how did COVID-19 affect those work activities. And then we thought that it would be a good idea to do a research on the effects of pandemic on female and male employees, especially in a few domains, which were aviation, textile, and banking. So in cooperation with the Association for Sustainable Education, Development, and Excellence, we conducted that research that lasted about 3 months. And then we wrote a report, and it aimed to determine the needs and expectations of the employees by exposing the psychological, social, and economic effects of the changing conditions and dynamics due to the pandemic. So, and after that, we wrote 2 articles, and now they are under review in journals. And again, together with the same association, Sustainable Education, Development, and Excellence, we also held a panel on March 8th and 2021. We also gathered the keynote speakers were also pioneer feminists actually from academia. So it was a pretty good conference. And then another activity, we have been invited by GEED, which is the Association for Monitoring Gender Equality. They are being funded by European Union. So we have been invited to join them as advisors as well as to do work together. So we became part of a big project by the title of Enhancement of Participatory Democracy in Turkey, Monitoring Gender Equality project. So the project aims to serve the institutionalization of an independent, scientific, and mainstreamed right-based monitoring strategy in Turkey by developing gender-sensitive indicators and evaluating them on a regular basis. So we meet with them probably once every 2 months, if not more often. So another project that we took on is the project of financial literacy education of women. And this is being done together with the Turkish Capital Markets Association. So they approached us for such a project, and we signed a protocol. And now it is really to discuss opportunities in terms of promoting and enhancing financial literacy of women, and this is an ongoing project right now. Something else, actually, it was the occasion how we got to know one another with Amrita University and the chairs there and Professor Bhavani and the team that we love so dearly. So this was the conference W36 Global Summit of Gender-Related UNESCO Chairs. This was actually the first one that gathered. So we are very grateful actually to Amrita University to do that. So in this summit, we got to know one another. It was a 2-day wonderful conference. We touched upon problems and what we can do together. We also got to know one another. And so various collaboration opportunities developed out of that conference. And now I am very happy to say there has been another smaller groups, gender-related chairs. We had a meeting a few days ago, and we have been entrusted to actually host the next conference, which will be most probably end October, beginning November, which will be W37 Global Summit of Gender-Related UNESCO Chairs. So we are quite excited about that. And finally, after the 2 workshops, we held the conference, Family in the Age of Globalization. It was 2 days. It was broadcasted through YouTube, and almost 1,000 people watched that. So it was a really fruitful, very fruitful conference. And it also touched upon controversial issues, which made it more special, actually. So am I running out of my time? Well, I'm finishing. And then another conference, together with Amrita University, International Conference on Advancing Women's Empowerment through Systems Model Expansion. Awesome. I love this, awesome. And so we also presented a paper there on the, let me see, what was that? The early forced and child marriages in Turkey. I mean, from the perspective of Turkey, what goes on. So we presented a paper on that, and there will be a book coming out, hopefully in a year or so at the most. And we are also preparing the gender equality plan, because, as you know, the European Union legislation makes it now mandatory that all educational institutions will be applying for projects Horizon 2021-2017 by the end of 2022, that they should have a gender equality action plan in their institutions. Otherwise, they will not be even entitled to be eligible for the project. So this is what we are doing right now. We are laboriously working on it. So this is something that keeps us quite busy. And last but not the least, there will also, we are on the way of preparing the publication of the conference, Family in the Age of Globalization, or the Global Age. So this publication will come out hopefully in a year or so, again with the support of Association Frederick Ebert Stiftung, Turkey. So I believe, in summary, these are activities, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Singha. It is wonderful to hear about the activities at the Maltepe University.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, let's hear more about the activities that is happening here at Amrita. We will now request Dr. Amrita Maltepe, Vice Chairperson, Department of Social Work, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, to address the gathering regarding and the intro to Amrita, as well as an idea about the future directions of the MoU. Dr. Melton, an alumnus of LMU Germany, is an expert in education sciences and psychology with a special focus on compassion. Dr. Melton has been associated with Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham since 2017 in academics and research projects, holds a PhD in the field of educational sciences and pedagogical psychology from LMU. Her research interests include self-empowerment through educational settings, technology-based affective learning, automated teaching and learning processes, and skill and analytics. I now request Dr. Maltepe to please let us together.
Thank you very much, Parvati, introduction, and especially Professor Hülya for this beautiful presentation of the activities at the Maltepe University. Very inspiring, and we could already grasp in our first encounters that we have both of the campuses have similar visions, a similar passion, and also visions to work towards our goals. So thank you, really, my heartfelt thanks. Also on behalf of Dr. Bhavani, Professor Bhavani, unfortunately, very recently, like a few minutes ago, she just got called to a very important meeting, and she apologized for the circumstances and trusted me with presenting the activities at our campus. So I would like to invite or request my colleague Hari to play the video, to start with the video of Amachi Labs and Center for Women's Empowerment and Gender Equality to start with.
The Amachi Lab is the most creative way of empowering women. Of all of the projects which the UN funds around the world, this is the one dearest to our heart. It's the one we're most proud of, and it's the one that we intend to take to the rest of the world so that they can learn from what you have achieved.
The one critical way to survive in a changing environment is to make sure that you have the skills to survive in a changing environment. So we need to either continuously update our skills or acquire new skills to survive in this kind of an environment. We are a multidisciplinary group of close to 100 people. We have engineers, artists, artisans, videographers, social scientists, field workers, volunteers, and exchange students from around the globe, and all working to understand India's complex social problems and together build solutions. With vocational skills training, there's a huge component that you have to do with your hands. So how do you teach something with your hands by using technology?
Our methodology is the CVIT methodology. It stands for Computerized Vocational Education and Training. It's a blended learning approach for vocational and life skills. Till date, we have developed over 15 vocational courses and 20 life skills courses, and we have used it to train rural women and children across 21 states of India.
You can't throw technology at difficult social situations and expect it to get better. You have to take it there. You have to work very sensitively to see how it's going to fit into people's lives.
They spend their time in the villages along with our end users to really understand their issues from a place of empathy and of connection. We have had a lot of firsts. We have trained India's first women plumbers. We have built the first haptic simulator in the country. We have had tribal women launch Kickstarter campaigns to fund their businesses. We taught women to build and maintain their own toilets. We mobilized the community towards ending open defecation. Some now earn a living by building toilets for others in the village.
आपने शौचालय के निर्माण के लिए जो बहनों को मिस्त्री का काम सिखाने का अभियान चलाया है, वो सचमुच में ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट, स्किल डेवलपमेंट का एक बहुत बड़ा काम है। बहनें और बेटियां स्वच्छता की दूत तो पहले से ही थे, अब आपने स्किल और सशक्तिकरण को भी इससे जोड़ा है।
All this could not have happened were it not for the guidance, the vision, and the opportunity given by our Chancellor, Shri Mata Amrita Maltepe.
Thank you, Hari, for that video. So I would like to, if I may, share my screen now. Give a brief overview of our activities. Kindly let me know if my slides are visible.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So yeah, we said it and I can't say it more often. So we are really very pleased to be here together and discover each other's expertise, but also areas of mutual exchange, collaboration. Therefore, please allow me to introduce shortly our activities. Before so, I really would like to highlight also Dr. Bhavani's profile. She's probably online and listening in the background, maybe, hopefully. So for all the guests and also the students from Turkey to know the background. So Dr. Bhavani is our Dean of the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences at Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, or in short, Amrita University. And yeah, we recently received the status of a top-ranked university in India, and she's also the director of 2 research centers. I will introduce them in a minute. It's MoU Labs and the Center for Women's Empowerment and Gender Equality. So she has been designated as India's UNESCO Chair in Gender Equality. Similar topics, shared topics with Dr. Hülya. And Dr. Bhavani's work focuses on empowering underserved communities, especially women in rural areas, through technology-based education, TVET, using the latest technologies. So since 2009, she has led many projects funded by international, national, and foreign organizations, including UN agencies and the government of India. So, all right. I mentioned that although we are we are a young university and we have a very strong focus, and recently, these are like our recent results, we rank amongst the top 50 in the world. Of course, joint effort is here behind, also international collaboration is here behind, and now Turkey and India are going to work here as well together, so we are really very happy. So our vision and mission is really education for life along with education for living. Education for living ensures us at the end of the day having a meal on my table and having a livelihood, sustaining my life on a material level. But education for life is, if not more important, at least as much as important as education for living. So strengthening from within, learning the art of living and learning to stay resilient and yeah, if we so want, successful in life, happy in life, even in the midst of difficult, challenging circumstances. And we are very much driven by compassion. So every activity which we perform, every idea which we think is very much colored by heart and by compassion. In other words, compassion-driven research for a global impact. So although we are focusing on Indian topics here, but we understand ourselves also as global citizens, especially when it comes to women's empowerment. So the university, as a glance, we are very multidisciplinary and research intense. We are here spread across different campuses. So we will have two new campuses, which will be, one will be in Faridabad and the other one in Amaravati. So Faridabad will be a huge campus on medical sciences with many thousands of beds in a hospital. The extended version of our AIMS hospital in Cochin. It will be launched in August this year. So we have more than 200 programs, very much international collaborations, 25,000 students, faculty and others here. And basically our 5 goals of education, especially relevant for our collaboration between the departments. So, and we believe we have a lot of similarities here, which is, as I said, to earn a living, but also to awaken the awareness, not only for the participants we are working with or the communities, but also the awareness of our students, of ourselves. Then the inspiration to have gratitude, so that on that nourishing ground, we can set the seeds of collaborations and research projects. Gratitude, why? Because being an academician is already having the time to sit and think, to sit and design and get paid for is very, very much luxury. So we are really very grateful. We have a deep sense of gratitude, and we want to share our luck, if we so want, by serving others. And of course, training to do one's duty, civic responsibility, responsibility towards nature are keywords here. And giving mental health, very relevant social work of both campuses, I believe very strong, or giving recognition towards mental health. So now I would like to give a glance of our school, how it is located. It's a very young school, so we are building it up, but it is a kind of an umbrella of our activities, which we have already since more than 10 years. So our Dean, Dr. Bhavani, heads the departments and also the research centers. And one of the research centers is the Center for Women's Empowerment and Gender Equality. And we are working here very strongly with 101 villages, which are adopted by the MAT and the university. So we are reaching towards really very remote areas, sometimes with no infrastructure, and building up a long-lasting relationship over many years to really serve over there as much as possible. So we have right now four programs: the Master of Social Work and the Integrated Master of Social Work with 5 years, and several PhD programs, also technology-based. So our programs are a little small, but we are right now doing efforts to extend it in numbers and also participation. So zooming into, in a nutshell, into our research lab, as I said, existing already since 2017 when we got the chair, to the activities, we can see that we have under the UNESCO chair, a research center. We have academic programs. We are very much into knowledge dissemination and fieldwork and projects with collaboration. We are very much interested, of course, together, I believe, I'm very sure, in social impact. So some of our projects were like across India, for example, our PMKUY project, in which we empower youth with vocational educational skill training, and in which we really focus on capacity building and gender-based community development. So, as I said, we are working on 101 villages, not at all of them at once, but this is like our access to the rural area. And some of our topics, as we have seen also in the video, are toilet building, self-help groups, empowering self-help groups. One of our latest projects here is the Sankal project, in which we reach out to 4,000 self-help groups and strengthening them with diverse skills. Women we believe need, and to build up a sustainable livelihood. So this is an overview of other projects we have. So we have projects around water and sanitation, which we collaborate with the Israel University and other government bodies in Israel. Then beside the PMKUY, we have also projects in which we empower our population, for example, in farming, and going through farming, their daily activities, going through farming, strengthening them, upskilling already what they're doing, upskilling their skills here, and ensuring a quality or a sustainable livelihood generation. So I'm skipping here some slides due to the time constraints, and a very much focus in our research center is AWESOME, our awesome framework, which we believe gives a wonderful opportunity to understand the grassroots reality, and we combine here theoretical knowledge, desk knowledge, if you so want, experience, with trends and changes and grassroots realities here, looking from a multi-perspective level to solve problems on the grassroots level, hopefully. So skipping here also our few of our slides. So we are also within the knowledge dissemination. We have conferences, workshops, and seminars, which we focus on community capacity development, on participatory and action-oriented research methods. Because as I said, we are reaching out to the rural area, and often our participants are not familiar with research or filling out surveys or having an interview situation. So we really tailor them specifically to their situation, to learn from them, actually, to really learn from them and support communication. So we had our different international colloquia from 2018 onwards, and our latest was the awesome conference, which got mentioned here also by Sophia. And yeah, we had the fortune to be very active in publications, and one of our recent publications I would like to mention is about mentalities. So it talks about, I'm just checking if we have the picture here. It's not here visible, but it talks about the role of men in the context of women's empowerment. Very interesting. We have few scholars who are focusing on that. So we are communicating in different forums, which can be seen here as an overview without going too much into the depth. And this, of course, would not be possible without the entire team. So we have a dedicated field team which reaches really out to the villages, utmost challenges often, and usually we go into the field, we stay there, and we try to understand and connect with the citizens in that area to really learn from them, come back and develop solutions, and double check and cross check our solutions with them to make it as much as beneficial as possible. So here's, by the way, the publication on mentalities. So it is, I think, open access. And another project which I would like to highlight here as a final point is about gender conversations and mental health and gender sensitization, actually, or in other words, gender conversations, including mental health and gender sensitization, which got performed 2021, and it's ongoing. And we are focusing here on at the paramilitary force in India, and that project got so much attention that now there's a strong future potential to make it obligatory in the paramilitary education. So we could see that focusing on soft topics, if we so want, uncomfortable soft topics in that very male-driven area or aspect of the government showed really high impact in, not to talk about concrete numbers of reduced suicide rates, or at least very positive feedback from the military force, and strengthening of the mental health. Because especially this group is exposed to very difficult topics on a daily basis, and stress is a chronic problem. And if it not get addressed with life skills, one of our strong pillars, it can cause severe negative consequences, not only for the individual, but also for the family, and then also the community. So yeah, and maybe a small zoom into our department. So we don't need to go very much into, but a platform in which you can, and Nesha Hojam and Priya Hojam, exchange, I hope, regarding our specializations, our value-based education, and our cross-cutting curricular components. So these are our field activities. I'm just checking if I not miss anything. wanted to highlight. I think I would stop here and thank for your attention and would hand over to Parvati to the next point. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Malcolm, for that very insightful and inspirational presentation of the overview, highlighting the possibilities of collaboration with the university. I would now like to invite Dr. Neshe Shahin Tashkin to enlighten us more on the collaboration opportunities of the MoU. Dr. Tashkin, who is the head of the Department of Social Work, Maltepe University, is also the Vice Director, Women and Family Studies Application and Research Center, Maltepe University. She holds her graduate and doctorate studies in the field of human rights and has made many contributions in the field of social work and human rights with her articles and projects. She is a board member of the Social Workers Association and the Council of International Fellowship for Social Workers and Youth Leaders. From the many years of experience gained through working in the field with torture victims, child protection agencies, probation system, etc., she brings a new perspective to the theoretical understanding of social work. We welcome you, Dr. Tashkin, to share your perspective.
Thank you, Parvati. Now I am going to share my presentation. Hello, everyone. Dear participants from India, I am extend warm greetings from Istanbul, Turkey, and hello, friends from Turkey. I am very glad to be here with you all and to present our aspiration for this great opportunity of collaboration. I prepare to introduce myself, but Mr. Parvati do this. I directly going to share our opinion about the Memorandum of Understanding. We believe that this collaboration between Amrita University and Maltepe University is I am sorry. We believe that this collaboration between Amrita University and Maltepe University is very significant in providing a platform of communication. While there is no doubt that there are lots of differences between India and Turkey in many respects, there are also some common and overlapping issues, such as gender inequality and poverty. We think that this Memorandum of Understanding between our universities provides an invaluable opportunity for intercultural dialogue, exchange of ideas and know-how, as well as testifies for the spirit of solidarity, something that we all need today's world. As we discussed on various occasions and in our previous meetings, especially Maltem, this Memorandum of Understanding has many potential benefits for both institutions and will also have broader impact upon the larger community. I have briefly gathered them in 4 topics: educational benefits, exchange program, research and innovation, and joint project opportunities. Educational collaborations will provide new perspectives and opportunities, not only for academics, but for students as well. These collaborations may include mutual guest lecturing, joint lectures, seminars, and etc., participation to postgraduate thesis committees, advising students based in expertise, and sharing of resources such as reports, educational materials, etc. While we will mostly get together online, We may also arrange face-to-face seminars or lectures once or twice a year, every year. Exchange program may include exchanging academics and students, which will contribute to broadening perspectives and knowledge. If we can't accomplish such exchange program, it will be an eye-opening experience for our students, since they will be able to see other perspectives and practices in different countries towards shared problems and issues. Third is research and innovation. This may include enhancing academics and students. I'm sorry. The scope of research and innovation may include doing joint research in areas of mutual interest, such as gender, poverty, and social work, etc. We may also co-organize conferences, seminars, workshops, and training sessions, which will enable to us share experiences and come up with solutions to common problems. As following this, we can also think of doing joint publications, even maybe starting a series. Last but not least, as I have said earlier, we have several common problems and issues in Turkey and India that need to be addressed urgently, such as child early and forced marriage or violence against women. These problems are serious obstacles and road to achieving gender equality. Therefore, we believe that developing sustainable projects around the goal of fighting gender inequalities should be one of our top priority. Finally, to sum up, we are very happy and delighted about this agreement, forming a bridge between our universities. No doubt it will allow us as institutions of education, research and service to community to join forces for our common goals, to create a better, equal, and just world, worthy of human beings. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Kashin, for this really wonderful perspective that would help us flourish this collaboration that we are having here now. Now, we will now display the MoU sign between Maltepe University and Amrita School of Social and Behavioral Sciences to mark the event. I request the IT team to please display the MoU. Thank you, team. So now the floor is now open for any questions or comments. The participants are now welcome to send in their queries to the speakers. So when you send in your questions, you can do it in the chat box. Please follow the format. You can have your name, the name of the speaker to whom the question is addressed, and the questions. So anyone who is interested in posting a question, please go ahead. You're very welcome to post a question here. We have a question, it seems, from Vegan Karadi. Please go ahead and post the question so that we can announce it and move forward.
I think Sitara would have a question. She's one of our students of a social work master student. So Sitara, I'm just reading your question. If I jump in here, Parvati. So Sitara posts Dr. Hülya, what are the major obstructions or hardships in initiating a gender equality action plan in academic institutions? question mark.
Thank you, Meltem, and thank you, Sitara. Are you asking that in particular for Turkey? This is what I reckon you do, I believe.
Yeah, that would be interesting indeed.
Meltemciğim, did you mean in Turkey?
Yes, Professor Hülya, we can start with that perspective, yeah.
Yes, yes. So there are already some universities who have prepared their gender equality plans in Turkey. Some of them have done that in within a project. They conducted a project mostly with funding from European Union. And of course, there are some particularities in each country, as you know. So some maybe hardships or some points that you cannot touch very much might exist depending upon culture. But otherwise, as you know, gender equality is one of the main goals also of UNESCO and also UN Sustainable Development Goals. So obstructions, well, I wouldn't say that there are obstructions in preparing the gender equality plan, but rather once you gather information based upon the indicators, then what kind of an action you can take and how you can do that, whether you can accomplish all the goals that you aim in achieving gender equality in academic institutions. I would rather say this would be more of a hardship than preparing a gender equality plan, because European Union, at least for now, seems to be quite gentle, so to speak, on gender equality plans. So you may not maybe have a full and complete touching upon all sorts of issues within gender, but you can show your goodwill and intention towards establishing in the particular situation, in your particular cultural context, so on and so forth. But so far, our experience in our university has been that they are very open to that, to gender equality plan. We already have passed through the Senate a kind of a goodwill protocol in establishing gender equality and also eliminating all sorts of discrimination due to gender. So we are now at the phase of gathering information based upon the indicators that we have prepared in accordance with the standards, international standards. And afterwards, maybe I can give a better answer, a full answer to that question in a few months. But so far, so good, I would say. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you, Dr. Sinha, and thank you, Sarah, for the question. I think we have one more question from Ms. Figan. I appreciate so much the type of university community work that you have achieved. It's difficult work. I wonder on the coordinated team of all this tremendous work in the community with women. How many people involved?
This is to me, I believe. Is it? I cannot hear you properly.
Ms. Figan, if you could raise the hand, we could try to get one. Could you also please post to whom you would like to address this question?
I had a hard time really understanding. There are some interruptions in the connection. But I can read the question. It's the difficult work. It is, I wonder, on the coordinating of all these tremendous work in the community with women. As far as our center and our chair is concerned, we are actually, as we were also listening to Meltem's presentation, of course, we are kind of compared with Amrita University, a smaller scale university based upon only one campus. And so most of the team is made up of women. but we are not as numerous as you yet. So we are trying to do our best. If I understood the question correctly, well, this is my answer.
Hope that answers the question.
I mean, the question is also for India. Ms. Figen Karadayı asked to Indian colleagues.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Of course, Figen Hoca would not ask us. She already knows. All right, sorry.
She learn. She want to learn. Is one coordinator is okay for all things you share?
Now, okay. I couldn't open the voice, so I struggled hard to reach you by writing. Meanwhile, there are some other questions, so it was mixed. Okay, I would like to appreciate the Indian community work I watched, and I really thought it's not an easy job to coordinate the academic work with the community. I don't want to go into detail much, but we have a center here in Maltepe. We work with students, disadvantaged children, and we try to combine all the work of many academicians help us, but coordination is very difficult. So I wonder how you manage all these coordinations between the community and the university. We work sometimes 168 people, and we try to cover the mothers' families, but we can't reach all because it's a very big, tremendous amount of work and coordination business. And I wonder whether your communities are volunteers for working with the universities, and we have some problems with the maybe official institutions we manage, and then it doesn't continue. I wonder what sort of problems you have and how your academic group or other people are organized, coordinated to make such a big job and work in the community with families, which we really also like to do it, but we can't make it because of the difficulties.
Thank you. I would request Dr. Balton to give a quick response to that question. I think it's towards the Indian and Amrita situation.
Yeah, thank you, Parvati. I couldn't hear it clearly. So you just repeat your last sentence so that I'm sure to reply now. I can't hear you. Hari, would you help? Would you help, please, to unmute, madam?
I observed the project in the community. You're working with the women doing certain activities and for the development of the community and the society. So it's a big work because I know from our project, and I wonder, how is the coordinator? How many people? And how do you work? What is the cooperation between all these people doing all this work?
Yes.
What is the organizational schema for it?
Yes, indeed, it's a very justified question, madam. So it is very resource intense, but we have the fortune to have a really very dedicated team of field workers, but also of volunteers and researchers. So because our focus is serving rural area, we have no other place to operate if you so want. And it is a sustainable approach in which we reach out to the villages and develop over time a relationship. So we don't enter the field, do our work and research and leave and say, thanks for the info, bye. Of course, no one does that in this way, but we come back, we ask, we sit together with them, and however they live, we try to live and adapt and establish an authentic relationship. And this gives, of course, many opportunities for interested researcher to enter into that relationship, and also MSW students and to extend this relationships over time. It's not a quick solution. It's not a quick construction of a collaboration with the citizens over there, but sustainable, soft, gentle over time. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. And you organize the community also for this work, and then you
Yes.
enter,
Right.
starting from the community. Okay, I
Right.
understand.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. Sure.
Parvati, if I may just, I think maybe due to the time, we would need to come to the word of thanks. I will hand over to you in a second.
Yes.
But before I hand over to my colleague to express also Dr. Bhavani's message and thanks, I would like just to take 2 minutes to really express this beautiful occasion between Turkey and India. Having lived in both countries and being familiar more or less with both of the cultures, I can really full-heartedly say that yes, we face similar challenges and problems which seems hard to change and that unifies us. So I believe these problems and challenges are awakens similar thoughts of motivation in us at the Turkish campus as well here in India to serve, but also similar emotions of frustration, realizing the depth of the causes of these problems. So we believe very strongly that girl who got married early in life, looking into a girl in India, to the eyes of a girl in India, must be very similar looking into the eyes of a girl in Turkey which got forced to marry. So we believe really very strongly that this collaboration and this MOU will pave the way to exchange and learn from each other. And yeah, I hope we can meet soon again to really elaborate on this potential and develop some concrete ideas how can learn from each other and serve towards each other's problems, own each other's problems to serve towards our goals. And just a last sentence, India is called as Mother India. And if we so want, a large part of Turkey, Anatolia, which is in Turkish, Anadolu, could be read as and translated as full of mothers. So I thought that is maybe something which unifies us as well, serving women, girls, and our mothers together. So with these words, I would like to hand over to my dear colleague, Vidya, to share also Dr. Bhavani's vote of thanks or her expression of gratitude for this MOU.
Hi, thank you so much, Meltem. Thank you so much, everybody, for this wonderful event. Actually, I'm not going to carry Bhavani's words of apologies because she just texted me she will be able to join like right now. So she will join in a couple of minutes, but I can already start to extend really my gratitude, our gratitude on behalf of Amrita University for this event, for this collaboration. One thing that was really mentioned when we had those meetings before with Professor Yulia, with HA, is really something like how Indian culture and Turkish culture are similar. And also coming from this European background, I can also really relate, and hearing all those wonderful presentations and projects and opportunities for collaboration. It's just, I cannot wait for it to see it like materialize and implemented. And of course, I'm very eager to come to Turkey, and I think I'm not the only one here. So thank you so much. And Professor Bhavani has joined, so I will let her just speak right now. Thank you.
I really apologize for not making it in time for this. The meeting just got over. My profound apologies. But nevertheless, I'm so thrilled that this MOU has been signed, and I'm pretty sure that this will not be just something that is going to limit itself to the paper. And I feel very strongly in my heart that we're going to be able to do some wonderful work together, and I look forward to that. I don't want to extend the things I just like. Just that my heart is very much into working with Julia and with the entire team from Maltepe.
Hi, Bhavani. Thank you so much that you could join us. I know sometimes work keep us busy. Thank you so much. I strongly share your feelings. I don't think it will be something that will be just on paper, and we will do great things, hopefully. And we hope to welcome you in Turkey as soon as possible. That would be lovely. And also visit you there and start collaborating on great projects together. So thank you very much. Also, thank you for, although you say very nicely and very, you are so nice to say that we co-organized that event, but actually it was you who organized that event, this event. So thank you so much for that as well. Thank you to all who have contributed to make this a great event. So thanks so much.
I think we covered the vote of thanks. We can close up with our traditional close up here at Amrita with the prayer for peace and harmony.
लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Thank you once again, all of you, for joining the function. Thank you so much.